St Patrick's Day and all the pubs closed in Ireland. I'll tell you what, this Liverpool fans, you don't think that the Premier League can get cancelled? Think again. Anyway, hello and welcome to the United Stand. Hope you're all doing well. Some big positive news to bring you in a moment. But first of all, look, I suppose it's realistic news. It's disappointing to some. It's realistic to everybody, I think, that Manchester United and Paul Pogba cancelled return to training today. There was talk that Manchester United, and there was an intention from Manchester United to train today, but from government advice this has been cancelled. There will be no pictures of Pogba back in training. And I mean, look, in relation to Pogba, there's a bigger picture going on here. Well, there might be a bigger picture with Pogba, but there's a bigger picture nationally and globally as to what's going on here, and every action that's being taken around isolation and stopping these gatherings is obviously 100% correct. But Paul Pogba, I mean, and his Manchester United season has just been... There's no point at this point, really, is there? But he won't be training today. There is apparently plans for United to have individual training plans. But I would say that, as we were talking about last night, UEFA meet today to talk about the Euros, Europa League, the Champions League. There's actually a meeting for the Premier League on Thursday to talk about the Premier League. So that will be interesting as well. What I would say is that, look, I said last night I like the snooker. The snooker's going ahead today behind closed doors. It's 1v1, isn't it? I think if football comes back, it's got to come back behind closed doors. I think that's what we're working towards, anybody who wants football. But teams not training together for a prolonged period of time, which is probably what's going to happen, means that any return in April is probably highly unlikely, because players, when they stop training, will lose match fitness when they stop playing games, but also day-to-day fitness levels will drop if you're not having competitive sport. So I think that this action today was a common sense one. It'll be interesting to see how long it actually lasts for. But Manchester United will not train today, which won't surprise many people, but they were planning on doing that. And I think that just elongates however long it's going to take for it to come back. There was a rumour last night that Serie A are looking to come back at the start of May, which is still 6 weeks away. And I think if things start to drop, that could happen. But we'll just have to wait and see what comes out of the UEFA meeting today and the Premier League meeting on Thursday with regards to that. But let me give you a little bit of positive news, because I think at the moment that there is that need for interaction. There is need for that discussion. Really, really great idea. I say great idea, not everybody's done it, so they need applauding for it. But Manchester United have come out with this strategy on the app and on the website, where they're going to what they're doing today is, because we should have played Spurs at the weekend, you vote for your favourite Spurs result out of 4, and the one that gets the most votes by 4 o'clock today, they put up on the website at 7 o'clock tonight, the full match. So at 7 o'clock tonight, we'll be doing a watch-along, because some of these games that are going to win, one of two is going to win. One was 5-2 United, one was 5-3 United. Both cracking games. I've not even seen the highlights of them for over a decade. So very excited to do that. We'll sit back, we'll watch that from minute 1 to minute 90, have a chat about what's going on, and just get that watch-along vibe back. So I'm really looking forward to that. So make sure you subscribe and tune in at 7 o'clock tonight on this channel for the watch-along for that. If you want to watch the actual game whilst getting involved in the chat, that will be on manunited.com or on the app, which I think is a great idea to bring people together, and well done to Manchester United for that. I'll drop the links in the video description for those later on tonight as well. So that's a positive. That's an opportunity for us to get together and have a chat whilst watching football. That isn't a... somebody even said, why don't you just get FIFA, put it on the screen, don't play as either team, and just watch it as a simulated thing? And I was like, yeah, are we that desperate yet? I don't think we are with what we've got coming through. Pogba will not be back in training today, having got back fit for Manchester United. There's no games and there's no training. That is government advice that United are following. But another thing that's quite interesting, I just want to talk about some relevant topical news. Van der Beek being mentioned around Manchester United again. My personal feeling about Van der Beek is that this is just a development of a story that started in Spain that we spoke about yesterday in Marca, where if Real Madrid retracts from a Van der Beek, Donny Van der Beek, James Van der Beek is the one from Dawson's Creek. I don't want to wait. Anyway, maybe watch the box set if you've never watched it. Fill some time. And I certainly used to enjoy it. But anyway, back on track. Donny Van der Beek will leave Ajax this summer. Real Madrid have always been considered a favourite to sign him. Manchester United now being mentioned. This started in Spanish reports in Marca yesterday, and this would be around whether Real Madrid decide to retract. Look, I'm not massively interested in what Real Madrid are going to do this summer, but it does feed into what Manchester United are going to do this summer. Real Madrid would have been knocked out of the Champions League by Manchester City. I think we know that. Whether the Champions League gets completed or not, Real Madrid will be aware of that. How do they improve next season? Does Van der Beek improve them. And questionably, I think Real Madrid probably need a little bit better than that. I look at Real Madrid and I think they need star quality. Now, whether that still means they'll be looking at Pogba or not, I think Pogba is the sort of player that Real Madrid need. I think Mbappe is the sort of player that Real Madrid need. I think Real Madrid need forwards, though. They need a star midfielder, and they definitely need a couple of star forwards. They don't have that Ronaldo thing anymore. So, and look, they're not going to be coming for Rashford, so it's irrelevant to us. But whether Van der Beek then becomes available and United look at him, I'll say what I said yesterday. I just think this is a development of a non-story. United's midfield targets appear to be Grealish, Maddison, at this moment in time, and maybe Havertz from Germany if that's available. I think Van der Beek, whilst he's good, wouldn't get into that three for me. So that's where United should be looking at. But I think the development of the transfer window is something we really need to keep an eye on. I mean, I've started mentioning this at the weekend, and I know a lot of people are now thinking along this line. I'm surprised the mainstream media haven't thought about this yet. There's going to be a financial pause. Some would call it a collapse. I think it's more of a pause, whether it's pubs, football clubs, cinemas, whatever. Revenues will slow right down. And when the button to restart again starts, they'll get a boom because everyone will want to go to the pub, the cinema and the football. So it's a pause. A crash is, you could cause it a crash, but ultimately a crash is when things start to drop and you can't see a way back. At the moment, I think we're on a financial pause. But because of that, revenues will drop. You're going to lose maybe a quarter, maybe even a third of your yearly revenue this time. So I don't think clubs are going to have massive amounts of money, and selling clubs are going to have to sell. They're still going to have to sell. If people say, well, United won't be able to afford Sancho, Pogba, Real Madrid won't be able to afford Pogba. Well, maybe that was the case before, but I don't think that changes much now because I still think that the player still wants to move. The club has lost revenue that's selling. So I still think these deals can be done. I just think they're going to be more complicated. And as I said, I think we might see a reduction in the value of players in the transfer market, which, to be honest, wouldn't be a bad thing. I'm not saying that the global issue that we've got now is a great thing for the football transfer market, but I think prices had got silly when you're paying £200 million, and maybe they can come down a little bit. But yeah, that's going to be one to keep an eye on. And I think from a Manchester United point of view, it's going to be very interesting to keep an eye on it as well, because what happens with Chris Smalling, what happens with Alexis Sanchez, when we're the selling club, what happens there? And I mean, Alexis Sanchez, whatever happens, is on 400 grand a week. Nobody's going to be able to afford those wages. And I think Alexis Sanchez is a massive problem for United. It's an unfair problem for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer inherited this, and it does irritate me when people talk about Mourinho as if he didn't cause a huge issue at the club. And if Mourinho didn't cause it, maybe he should come out and publicly blame Woodward. But whoever sanctioned and did that deal of 400 grand a week for a player that's total crap, to be honest with you, that's a debt round our neck that will sink us in the future. I mean, I still think he's got 2 or 3 years left on his contract at 400 grand a week. No one's going to pay this money, and he's poisonous. He's poisonous to United, even if he's not poisonous as an individual. Which we've heard that he doesn't want to be at United. Ole thought he would be part of our plans this season, and Sanchez forced the move. This is not someone Solskjaer wants around the club, but he's got such a big wage. Who wants him? And I think United are going to have to look at loaning him out again, because I don't see anybody buying him. Smalling, I think Smalling's pedigree is high, and I think people will want him. It's just about what the future transfer market's going to look like and what clubs actually want to spend. There will be clubs that want to spend. There will be clubs that can spend, but I think a lot of clubs may just be going, well, we might have to get on with what we've got for a year and see what it's like. So, very interesting future ahead in relation to the transfer market. I think United will be looking to spend, and I think, just one that comes to my head is Grealish. Aston Villa get relegated. We don't have this global crisis. I think United could have got Grealish for about £50 million. Season gets voided. Aston Villa stay up. Value of the transfer market drops. Villa say, up yours, we're not selling you Grealish for any money. So there's ups and downs with this, and I think we'll just have to monitor it and see how it goes. But the headline this morning is that Manchester United will not be training. Players will be given individual training plans. It means no return to training for Paul Pogba yet again, and we'll just have to suck it and see what happens over the next few days and how long. My question is, and I suppose it is to you, if government advice is that footballers are not training together at the moment, when do they train together? And I think this is a massive blow to getting football back on our screens behind closed doors, because at what point will they say, yeah, we think you can train together? I don't think they're going to say that that's allowable for a very long time. So, yeah, scrub April. I think we were going to scrub that anyway. But, you know, this the way this is going, the groove is going up. And as I said, look, you know what? I know it's different circumstances, but I hope things like snooker and darts do carry on, because it's live sport at the end of the day, isn't it? And there's opportunities for those who can get those sports back. So it'll be interesting what comes out of the Premier League meeting on Thursday and whether they have that mindset. We'll have to see. It's a very movable situation, as we know, and ultimately the most important thing is to try and preserve life. Remember, tonight we will be live around 7 o'clock for the Manchester United versus Spurs watch along. We can watch a 90-minute game provided by Manchester United, a classic one. We can sit back and chill. It will be a classic game as well. Looking forward to that. So please subscribe if you're new. Smash a like on the video. Thanks for everybody's watching. Get involved in the conversation, and Flex and Rants will be up at 1 o'clock. That's in the bag, up, ready to go up at 1 o'clock as well. They'll be talking and giving their opinions on whether the season should be voided, but also Rants still thinks Ollie should get the sack, so that's going to be a very interesting watch. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll speak to you later for the watch along.